is what?
Thank you. Colleagues from the Ministry of Education, representative from the World Bank, all media presented, ladies and gentlemen. I'm delighted to welcome you all to the signing ceremony of the financing agreements with the World Bank on behalf of the Global Partnership for Education to finance the implementation of Global Partnership for Education for the COVID Education Response Project, amounting to 14.85 million USD, and for additional financing of the General Education Quality Improvement Program for Equity, amounting to USD 122.5 million USD. In total, about USD 137.35 million, which is equivalent to 5.5 billion Ethiopian birr. The COVID Education Response Project aims to ensure students can make up for lost learnings during the past year when schools were closed in response to the COVID-19 pandemic, and also to ensure safe school reopenings and enable education system recovery and resilience. Ladies and gentlemen, as you are aware, the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic has brought significant social and economic impact on all countries, including Ethiopia. Schools closure to contain the spread of the COVID-19 was of the early measures taken by the government. While it has helped us to significantly reduce the spread of the virus, it has kept millions of students out of school. And our partners have been working not just to respond to the crisis, but also to build back. First, it aims to create framework to make up for the lost learning time by supporting the preparation of distance. It also enables schools to keep hygiene and cleanliness in the schools for the kids. Thirdly, it will also support to build systems level resilience and project coordination by setting up emergency help desk, supporting regional and local supervision, capacity and provision of support for all coordination and communication aspects.
To leapfrog progress in equitable access and student learning in the wake of COVID.
Efforts during this difficult time, but as well as to enhance the ongoing program through the GQE. As always, personal thanks to the World Bank Country Director and Madam Alice Albright, GPE Executive Officer, and their respective teams for their unwavering commitment to strengthen the expansion of the partnership between the World Bank as well as with GPE that we have with the Ministry of Finance and Ministry of Education. My appreciation also goes to the officials and experts from government side. Particularly, I really want to appreciate the leadership role played by the Ministry of Education, His Excellency Engineer Getahun and his team, and also the Ministry of Finance to make all the processes in a very fast-track manner to bring all two financing agreements to be signed today. In conclusion, I would like to thank everyone involved in making this agreement signing possible. I thank you all.
Well said.
በዛሬ ዕለት የኢትዮጵያ መንግስት የኮሮና ወረርሽኝ በትምህርት ዘርፍ ላይ እያስከተለ ያለውን ተጽዕኖ ለመቀነስ እያደረገ ያለውን ጥረት ለመደገፍ ከዓለም ባንክ በግሎባል ፓርትነርሺፕ ፎር ዲቨሎፕመንት በኩል የተገኘውን የ14.85 ሚሊዮን ዶላር እና እንዲሁም ደግሞ የአጠቃላይ ትምህርት ጥራትን እና ተደራሽነትን ለማረጋገጥ በሚካሄደው ያለው ፕሮግራም ስር ተጨማሪ የፋይናንስ ድጋፍ አግኝተናል። ይሄም ወደ 122.5 ሚሊዮን ዶላር በአጠቃላይ የሁለቱንም ፕሮጀክቶች ድጋፍ ወደ 137.35 ሚሊዮን ዶላር ወይም ደግሞ 5.5 ሚሊዮን ብር ስምምነቶችን ዛሬ ለመታደም እዚህ በመገኘታችሁ ሁላችሁንም ማመስገን እፈልጋለሁ። ባለፈው ዓመት የኮሮና ወረርሽኝ በተከሰተበት ወቅት ትምህርት ቤቶች ተዘግተው ተማሪዎቻችን ከቤት እንዲቆዩ ሆኗል። ሆኖም ግን የትምህርት ሚኒስቴር እንዲሁም ከሌሎች ባለድርሻ አካላት ጋር በተደረገው ከፍተኛ ርብርብ የማስተማርና መማር ስርዓቱ መጀመሩ ይታወቃል። ይሄም ደግሞ የትምህርት ቤቱን ስነ ስርዓት ተማሪዎቹን ወደ ገበታ ለመመለስ ብዙ መነቃቃትንና የትምህርት ስርዓቱን ወደ ነበረበት እንዲመለስ ከፍተኛ አስተዋጽኦ ተደርጓል ለማለት ነው። ይህ የተከሰተው የኮሮና ወረርሽኝ በሀገራችን ብቻ ሳይሆን በሌሎች ታዳጊና ባደጉ ሀገራት ላይ ከፍተኛ ማህበራዊ፣ ኢኮኖሚያዊ ተጽዕኖ የፈጠረ ክስተት መሆኑ ይታወቃል። የኢትዮጵያ መንግስትም ወረርሽኙን በተከሰተበት ወቅት የአስቸኳይ ጊዜ አዋጅ በማውጣት በሁሉም ደረጃ የሚገኙ ትምህርት ቤቶች እንዲዘጉ በመሆኑም ወረርሽኙ ሊያስከትለው የነበረውን አደጋ ለመቀነስ የተቻለበት ሁኔታ ነው ያለው። በዛሬው ዕለት የተፈረመው የዕርዳታ ስምምነት ደግሞ የተከፈተውን የመማር ማስተማር ሂደት በሶስት አቅጣጫ አጽንኦት ሰጥቶ ለመደገፍ የታሰበ ነው። አንደኛው በኢንተርኔት፣ በሬዲዮ፣ በቴሌቪዥን እንዲሁም በተለያዩ ሶፍት ኮፒ የሚቀርቡ ለትምህርት የሚያገለግሉ ሁኔታዎችን በማመቻቸት ተማሪዎች ቤት በሚቆዩበት ሂደቶችም ስላሉ አሁን አንድ ቀን ተዘግቶ አንድ ቀን እየተከፈተ ስለሆነ የሚማሩ በቤት በሚሆኑበት ሰዓት ላይ የተሻለ የመማሪያ ዘዴዎች ኖሯቸው ተጨማሪ ድጋፍ እንዲያገኙ ያስችላል። በሁለተኛ ደረጃ ትምህርት ቤት ከተከፈተ በኋላ ወረርሽኙ እንዳይዘመት የሚረዱ እንደ ሳኒታይዘር፣ የአፍ አፍንጫ መሸፈኛ ጭንብሎችን፣ የእጅ መታጠቢያ ቁሳቁሶችን እንደማሟላትም ትምህርት ቤቶችን ያግዛል። በሶስተኛ ደረጃ ደግሞ ሁሉም ህጻናት ወደ ትምህርት ገበታ እንዲመለሱ ቀስቀሳ በማድረግ በተለይም በሁሉም የሀገራችን ክፍሎች ላይ ያለውን እንቅስቃሴ ለመደገፍም የሚረዳ ነው። በአጠቃላይ ትምህርት ቤቶች ከወረርሽኙ ለመጠበቅ አስተማሪዎችንም ተማሪዎችንም የሚፈልጉትን ድጋፍ አግኝተው በፍጥነት መልሶ ወደ ነበረበት የትምህርት ማስተማርና የመማር ሂደት ሙሉ በሙሉ ለመመለስ የሚያስችል ድጋፍ ነው። በተጨማሪም ደግሞ ለጂኪፒ የተገኘው የፋይናንስ ድጋፍ በትምህርት ጥራትና ተደራሽነት በኩል የመንግስት የያዛቸውን ከፍተኛ ስራዎችን በተጨማሪ የፋይናንስ ድጋፍ በማገዝ የሚረዳ ነው የሚሆነው። እንግዲህ ሚስተር ኡስማንን እንዲሁም ደግሞ በጂፒ በኩል ሚስ አሊስ ኦልብራይትን በማመስገን በቀጣይም ትብብራችንን አጠናክረን የምንቀጥል መሆኑን በመግለጽ ማመስገን እፈልጋለሁ።
Finance. Colleagues from the education is expensive, try ignorance. And that is why I'm delighted to be here this morning to sign two financing agreements for the amount of $122.5 million additional financing for the General Education Quality Improvement Program for Equity, and another amount of $14.85 million for COVID-19 education response on behalf of the World Bank Group. Indeed, this is yet another big day for our partnership, the strong partnership between the World Bank Group and the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia. These two important projects, totaling an amount of $137.3 million, are financed through grants from the Global Partnership for Education, GPE, and are expected to support the government's short and long-term response to the COVID-19 pandemic in the education sector. As you said it very well, Her Excellency, education is a long-established area of engagement for the World Bank in Ethiopia. Over the past decade, the World Bank has been supporting the flagship education reform program of the government, General Education Quality Improvement Program, GEQIP. The World Bank, together with other international organizations and development partners, provides support across all education subsectors, stretching from pre-primary to higher education, but also including technical and vocational education training, TVET institutions. So let me elaborate a little bit more on those two projects which we are signing the financing agreement today. First is the additional financing to the General Education Quality Improvement Program for Equity. The current and third phase of support, named General Education Quality Improvement Program for Equity, is supporting the Ministry of Education to transform an education system toward result-based financing and a deeper focus on student learning improvement. This project, financed by the Global Partnership for Education, will support the government's long-term response to the COVID-19 pandemic. It will also support the reintegration of the most vulnerable and marginalized groups back to school, including girls, children with disabilities, and children of internally displaced persons who are more likely to permanently drop out after disruption in schooling. We believe this is fundamentally important. So no children in Ethiopia is being left without education. Works, which is particularly important for education and empowerment of girls. But the project will also scale up quality assurance program for growing early childhood education sector and to improve the access for children with disabilities and special needs to mainstream school, which are successful intervention of the parent program, which has enabled this project to respond quickly to periodic droughts, floods, and other disasters. And this emergency component has been activated at earlier stage to respond to the COVID-19 pandemic in June of last year. This is the first additional financing of $122.5 million US dollars. For the second one, which we just signed, the COVID-19 Education Response Project. This is because the COVID-19 Education Response Project, which is also financed by the Global Partnership for Education, envisioned to mitigate the impact of COVID-19 on the education system and help recovery as schools reopen. The funds, which are grants, are made available to the government just in time last year to respond to the urgent needs of the school reopening. This project will continue to support the effort of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia government in 4 areas which I wanted to mention quickly. First, we'll be supporting the continuity of learning during school closure through the provision of distance learning, as well as communication regarding the COVID-19 pandemic and the reopening of school procedures. Second, supporting accelerated learning activities following the reopening of schools, including targeted remedial support to low-performing and vulnerable students. Third, improving sanitation facilities in schools and provision of health and personal protective equipment. Fourth and last, supporting system-level capacity to respond to emergencies and monitor the functioning of schools, as well as enhancing readiness for any future COVID-19 outbreak. We need to learn lessons from these experiences and anticipate to be prepared for the future. So finally, before concluding, Excellency, let me thank all those who have really worked extremely hard on the government of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia to make these projects happen. I want to thank development partners. I want to thank the World Bank Group team, Getahun, and by making sure also that all those projects are going to be implemented successfully. I look forward to continuing this strong and long-standing partnership between the government of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia and the World Bank toward ensuring successful implementation and
Thank you. Always good. Yeah.
That's me smile.
Come. Thank you.